So, if you did not see this, I should change the title as well for the moment. Discussing official survey. All right. There we go. So, if you did not see this before, then Owlcat has released, I think, like on all their social platforms at least, but on Steam as well. On Steam, Discord, Twitter, I don't know where else. Maybe on GOG, but everywhere else, and I think on their website, they released a survey, Google document form for the game. And I should, let's see. How can I remove this a little bit more? Okay, here we go. They have released this form and they asked the player base to fill it and give your feedback to the game, to the developers, and give your feedback to them about what you like about the game, what you dislike about the game. And apparently, based on this feedback, they asked you to be serious about it, because based on this feedback, there might be some serious changes to the game and maybe even future development. So in case, like, if you consider that, I feel at least it is quite important then to talk about it, right? And to just and to make sure everyone then sends their feedback about it. Though I'm sure they're going to selectively choose, what information is useful and what information is not. But I thought it would be a good opportunity at least to talk about this, and also have a discussion with all of you, and just generally like talk it over. I guess, like, the game has been out now for over 2 months, to talk about how we feel about these. So I hope to start a cool conversation with all of you, and have some nice opinions and talks about the state of the game. Also, thank you very much for the follow, King Kush. Well, let us go through together all of this and then see. What aspects of the game did you like the most? And you may select several points. Let's see. Story, narrative in general, companions, story choices that have an impact on the game, quests, mythic paths, romances, music, sound, voiceover acting, graphics in general, portraits, animation, wide choice of classes and archetypes, duration of the game, amount of content, dungeons, crusade management and tactical army battles, exploring, puzzles, battle difficulty, turn-based mode, game mechanics, and Pathfinder and Pathfinder rules implementation, items diversity, UI, encounter design, and other. Oh boy, that's a lot. What have I enjoyed personally about this game the most? Right? Like, that's the question. What did I like the most? The puzzles. Yeah, like, of course, the puzzles. Okay, like, the story is definitely, and the narrative in general, like, they're doing that good. Companions are definitely one of, I think, the most beloved things, at least here, and the things we talk about the most. Story choices that have impacted the game. I'm gonna untick later, like, we're gonna be selecting it out after. Quests overall haven't been very exciting. Like, there hasn't been any very exciting quests. I haven't done enough romances to talk about it. Mythic paths? I mean, I definitely like the mythic paths. Music has been fantastic. Sound design could be over a little bit better, I feel, at places. More voice acting, please. Graphics in general, I mean, yes, but definitely not what I enjoy about it most. I would love to see more portraits, personally. The portraits have been awesome. Animations could be more. Like, I think animations overall like were heavy at the beginning of the game and then just not that much. Yeah, what I mean is like we're ticking things I like and then we're gonna go through and we will selectively choose that as well. I'm curious, what is the thing that you guys enjoyed the most? Wide choices of classes and archetypes, absolutely. The amount of content. Crusade Management, of course. Turn-based mode. Game mechanics, yeah. Item diversity has been brilliant. Okay, so I think those are mine, at least, that I like. Now, from those, what's my favorite part of the game? Item diversity for sure. The mechanics, I think, are not gonna be my favorites because, like, that's a mess in a way. Like, the way the implementation is and how the game mechanics actually work and don't work definitely could use some improvements. But they're not actually asking for like the state of it, but the aspects of the game, like what you enjoy about the game itself the most. Like, what's the which is tough to say because like the bugs affect so many things. For you, it's story, choices, mythic paths, music, classes, items. Battle difficulty is definitely not like I could definitely talk about it a lot. The wide choices of classes and archetypes is definitely a good thing. The amount of content. I'm actually not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. Nah, like I don't think it's the hours. It's like what you can do in the game. But actually, I think I would like more variety. I would like more variety. So I'm not sure. Like, there's lots of content, but lots of it is just also just going through hordes and hordes of monsters. So I would actually like a wider variety of content, like a lot more areas. And instead of like having dungeons with 500 enemies in it, I would like to see more smaller dungeons. The portraits, okay, like I guess the portraits are not my favorite. No, I'm gonna leave the portraits. I do want more portraits. Voiceover acting has been amazing. Music has been amazing. The story and the narrative. Story choices that have an impact on the game. Has there been lots of choices that impact the game? Overall, like through the multiple playthroughs. I'm actually not sure if there has been lots of choices. It's mostly the mythic path, so like I think yeah, it would be tied to the mythic path, in which case it would be more the mythic paths themselves. But no, like I do like no, like you can choose if you kill Nura or not. Like those are fun. No, like I definitely like those. Those are story choices. Like whether you kill Nura or not, whether the queen joins you or not, etc., etc. But again, like it happens a lot early game, and as you go deeper into the game, it's less and less. You didn't like companions, voice acting, and UI. I wonder what you didn't like about companions. So I guess story choices are definitely not my favorite. Could be more as well. The story and the narrative in general has been good. The companions. I guess like it's not gonna be my favorite because I would like more. I would like more companions, I think, as well, and more variety. Like even if it's not a story, but still more. Mm. So maybe that would be mine. Um, so like those are things I take out: story, mythic paths, music, voiceover, portraits, wide choices of classes and archetypes, and item diversity is what I liked, at least in the game, most myself. Mythic paths offering the most replayability as well. Item diversity, definitely. Like, those are the three. Mythic paths, wide choices of classes, and item diversity gave, I think, the most replayability to the game. By far. Yeah, the secret ending requires choices, but they're not meaningful choices. Like, they're just affect the secret ending, I believe. They're very obscure choices. Like, there's no, like, nothing actually changes. It's just a tick. Like, okay, you said that. Boom, tick. Mm. Anything else that I really like? Anything other? That I think they've done really well. Anything else from here? I like roughly everything is listed. Items diversity. I think overall, like, those are my favorite. Definitely, like, the replayability is definitely my favorite part. I would say. Problem with companions that you get 3 archer archetypes, 2 at the start, and they don't explore the variety of what they implemented. That's true. That's true to a degree. I think there's nothing wrong with the current companions. We would need more. We would need more mini companions, even. You wrote a small novel in this survey of theirs. Hey there, Ring. Why did you like the selected aspects? Okay. So why did I like the aspects at least? Story / narration. It's like, I'm not going to spend more time on this. It's been just generally good. You have done storytelling very well, both in Kingmaker and Wrath. So keep doing what you do. It's been a fun story in general. Like, the story, I really have no problem with. Oh boy, isn't there a better way of doing this? All right. Oh, this is not very good here. Okay. Then I'm going to put music, portraits, and voiceover in one category. Music, portraits, voiceover. Love the music. It really fits the theme and just overall beautiful tracks. Voiceover is fantastic where it is present. Unfortunately, it's very rare. Would love to see more. I feel the same about portraits. Well-drawn portraits can give a character 1,000 times more character. Well, can give an NPC 1,000 times more character than just having a name and a 3D model. That's just my opinion. That's the same for JRPGs. I feel portraits are one of the best ways to give a character more presence. It's just like portraits are so damn important, I think. So more. Then classes and item diversity, with items being the most important, are the prime reason the game is very replayable and super fun to explore through multiple playthroughs. I would love to see much more items, even item crafting, like in Pillars of Eternity 2, where you can enable a wide variety of the classes available just through item choices. So that's what I would say. And the Mythic Paths is the same. It gives you variety. I think that's why the Mythic Paths have been very good. You can make so many characters work. You can really create. You feel you can create your character. You're not limited by item choices and just the scenario, because all this just opens up that you can build whatever you want. And I think that's really, really important. You think the puzzles could be improved with more clear hints? I really didn't like the puzzles myself, personally. Many companions also have Mary Sue syndrome, in your opinion, but you don't know if Owlcat would do anything about it, since it was done in purpose. I mean, but it's a story, right? Like, you can dislike the story, but overall, like, that's more of a story thing than the companion problem, so to say. This game has captured your time and interest much more than Pillars of Eternity or Divinity. It's mostly because of how good of an RPG it really is, and it's very well implemented. But content-wise, I feel those other games have the small things done better, and this game, on the grand scheme of things, is doing it really well. Like, the depth of this game is just really rich. The depth of it is what's awesome about it. You can... The feat system of Pathfinder is very, very good. But yeah, those are my opinions, at least, on this matter. Like, the things I didn't choose, I just don't really feel very strong about them. Like, there are heavy criticisms, plus they are not really the strong suits of the game. Personally, in my opinion. The companions, there could be more. There could be more companions, and some companions I like, some companions I don't like. Overall, I think the problem with companions is that there's really no reason for them not to put more companions in the game. They don't need to give them stories. Just give more characters that you can recruit. They can be silent companions. I don't care. Give more variety. The story choices mostly happened early game, and I feel as you go into the game more, it happens less and less, to the point that there are no choices. Quests. I feel there could have been a lot more quests, honestly, and by that also more zones, like small minor quests, and not just like talk to this, talk to that, or like a lot of the quests that we have right now, because we've done a lot of them are just fillers as well. yeah, like the sidekicks of Deathfire or Baldur's Gate or any other game, you know, like you just talk to them, they, you know, say like 5 lines, they don't even have to be voice acted, or any of the characters in the game. There's no reason why you can't hire more people to join you, especially the characters who survive throughout the story, right? Like, imagine if you could hire Yaker from the Hell Knights, or Nura could be a sidekick, or your generals, Irabath, Anevia. You don't need to voice them. They can be, yeah, like sidekicks. They can be minor characters that can join your party. Or I don't know now. I just said some examples, but already just if those would be, or Sire could join you as well, not just as a lich. Staunton, if you redeem him. Like, there's so many characters that could be minor companions, and the game wouldn't change, but you would have twice the variety on who you play with. So I think that's really would be a great addition to the game. I don't know how. I don't see how hard it is to implement that. I can only see that being hard if, like, there's specifically they made it tough to have more companions. But since there's a mercenary system in place, I can't imagine that. Like, sure, you could say that, well, you could just make a mercenary and name it Irabath, but that's not the same. I think we can agree on that. Like, if you make something, you already feel like you're cheating, right? Or you're like, you made the character. But if the game actually gives you the character, you feel more accomplished. Like, it's more fulfilling just because the game gives you. Sure, you can make the mercenary, but it's not gonna be the same. It's role playing after all. Romances. I mean, romances are fine, you know, but it's not the main deciding factor for me. Sounds are not bad, but again, like, I guess I would like to see more variety as well for spells, spell effects, maybe certain attacks. Graphics are pretty. Graphics are definitely pretty, I think, but I have a few things I heavily dislike in this game. Like, I mean, I guess that's not graphics, that's more like design, but since there's no option for that, I can't really untick anything. That there are some visual designs, I think, that are a little bit jarring, or like graphics I don't like that much. The art style I do like about the game. With animations, I feel a little bit I was not tricked, but like I was on a leash. Like, you start the game and it even has this cutscene with camera shifting and everything, and never ever in the game do you see that. Like, there was no cutscene apart from when Tyrandalev and Discari fights in the prologue. Like, that actually would be something I wanted to see in the game, and it never ever happened. So I would like to see more of that. Duration, I mean, if it would be 100 hours game, I would still like it. So like 100 or 200 hours. Frankly, if they would cut the game in half, but that would be more polished, I would be fine with that even. Like, if it would be a 100-hour journey instead of 200, I would still like the game. So the duration, I don't think they need to make these 200 hours campaigns. They could cut down some parts and instead focus on the things that really are good. So to make sure that's good. And that's when it comes to the next point, which is the amount of content. I would much prefer, I think, a content-packed 100 hours than... Even though this is not really a problem in the game, I felt there was enough content and the duration was amazing as well. Like, it was a 200-hour journey for me. But if my opinion is asked here, then I personally would prefer a shorter overall campaign, but a lot more locations, a lot more small dungeons, a lot more minor dungeons or bigger dungeons, like quest areas. So like, really, there are places you can go, right? And explore. I would much more like variety. than just a super long fighting demons for 200 hours. So that's the same with the dungeons. I felt there's one dungeon I really like. That's the Ivory Sanctum. And the other dungeons are not there, unfortunately. So I would like more dungeons. That design choice is more fitting for an open worldish game than a Demon Crusade. Which one? What I'm saying? I mean, what's the, like, I don't see the difference there. Like having a 200, why is it better to have 200 hours of the same thing than 100 hours of variety? Lots of smaller optional locations, but the game already has that, right? Like the game already has that. And it's just really, that depends on the narrative. You already do all these different things. It doesn't have to be an optional, meaningless thing. It can still be something that's giving you variety in the story. But you know, like still focused on the story. Well, but what I'm saying is, now you're just nitpicking what I'm saying, though. What I want, good variety is what I'm saying. That's what I mean. I'm not just saying give me more variety. I want good variety. Shorter game with good variety is what I'm advocating for, at least. Crusade Management and Tactical Army Battles. I think overall we can agree, like, I don't think anyone would miss that. Don't get me wrong, I like it actually, but I don't think if they would remove the Crusade Management and the Tactical Army Battles, honestly, but the rest of the game would be improved, I don't think anyone would miss that. Though, I'm actually curious, is there anyone in chat who really, really likes the Crusade Management? Hands up, or I'm curious about opinions. Like, is anyone in chat who loved Kingmaker's management and the Crusade Management here? Like, that's one of the main reasons you play. Yeah, I would like it as well, but the balance is, yeah, not there. You would miss the Crusade mode. It's one of your favorite upgrades from Kingmaker. This is so much better as Crusade. Okay? It would be better if they copied heroes more. I agree. Like this, I wouldn't miss, but I guess it could be better. Yeah, I'm somewhat indifferent to it as well, but it's not well implemented. It needs, like, just putting it like this just feels like waste of time in a way. Because, like, it's fun for what, like a couple of hours, and then it's just the same thing over and over again. If they focused on it more, it could be good, but then it requires focus. So that's why, I mean, I would probably rather have them remove it than put so much effort into improving it when there's so many other parts of the game that could use that time being improved. Exploring. Actually, I'm gonna take exploring. I want to explore more. I love that about this game. I want to go from place to place and explore without knowing what to expect. Going to a place and seeing a dragon. Going to a place and meeting a lich. Going somewhere and seeing unexpected things without knowing what's there. I want more of that as well. The problem is, like, they're asking what I like. But I also, like, I would like to see more of this. I think the puzzles are horrendous. No offense to whoever made them. I think the puzzles are horrendous. Puzzles are good in games, but not too hard puzzles. And definitely not puzzles that normally would even require drawing. Like, make simple puzzles. Make puzzles around the mechanics of the game. Or you know, creative puzzles. These puzzles have been too nerdy. Does it make sense? Like, that's how I would say it. Like, it was too nerdy. Way too nerdy puzzles. This ties into their encounter design. You would love more exploring, but spare you from keeping track of your buffs for even longer. Yeah. Yeah, I like puzzles, but these puzzles have been way overboard. Turn-based mode. I mean, I like turn-based mode, but it's definitely not my favorite part. I play for real-time with pause, so I'm not taking turn-based mode at least. Game mechanics and Pathfinder rule implementation. I mean, I would like to take that. It's a great part of the game. But half of them, okay, not half of them, but a good 20% of them don't work. So, like, definitely not my favorite part. Like, it's obviously, it's more like the variety of choices in the game are awesome. Not necessarily the implementation and how they do it. The variety is great, but not the implementation. The implementation could use quite some work. It's more that it exists is what's good, not the implementation and the mechanics themselves. Especially, like, what do we consider mechanics? Right? Like, how things work. There are quite some issues there that needs to be improved on. Item diversity I talked about. It's much better than Kingmaker. I want to see even more. Much more items. That's what by far the most fun part. All these items are amazing. Yeah, like more items to give classes. Yeah, like Assassin. Like, now you can bypass poison immunity. Boom. Instantly, Assassin will be fun. I mean, you have a Rod of Grandmaster that bypasses magic immunity. Then, you know, Assassin would deserve, I think, a poison immunity bypass. But yeah, like, give difficulty class boosts to other spellcasting schools as well. More weapon types. More armor. Give us more good medium armors as well that are not just like whatever. There's 2 damage reduction on it and let's call it a medium armor. But then, you know, let's make a medium armor that's a balance between defense and more offense, etc., etc. Give more items. That's by far one of the best improvements in the game. The UI has been improved, but I think they can improve it further. I mean, like, I think it's good. The UI is the interface. So the menus, how the menus look, how the interface looks, you know, your cast bars and inventory. I don't care that much. It looks good. I mean, they can make it look better. It's a huge improvement compared to Kingmaker, so keep going. But, you know, in the end, that's good. Like, that's fine. Could be better, but they are improving it, and that's nice. Encounter design, definitely not my favorite part. Definitely not. So I'm definitely not taking that one. Encounter design, they definitely need to, I think, rethink how they do it. It's their battle difficulty and encounter design is not my, I don't think it's a strong suit of the game. But that's my personal, you know, that's my personal opinion. Some people like it. I don't like the way it's done. I think there could be, some parts are fun, some parts are horrible. Search function should be added since mods did it in like 2 days. Oh yeah, like that's true. That definitely. But I think we talked about this more. So as usual, we like to talk about what we like. So let's go into the most important part. Guys, guys and girls, what aspects of the game did you not like? Here we go. What do you not like specifically dislike? All right. From the same categories. uh, let's see. Like this specifically dislike. Nenio. Other Nenio. Specifically dislike. Encounter design and battle difficulty. I will take them. Companions I will dislike and I will explain why. That's for variety. Personally. And game mechanics, I think game mechanics are also bugs, I guess. So that's probably there. There are some things that these are things that I specifically don't like, that they're not that good overall. Like I can't say I dislike the dungeons. It's like I would like more of it, of course, but I don't think there's gonna be a category like that. Oh, wait, the puzzles. Of course, the puzzles. How could I not see? Okay, puzzles, of course. You dislike not playing with Minago. Pathing bugs, lack of playable NPC options. Agreed. Let's think about dungeons. Canobras is fun. Grey Garrison is fun. I do like Lepers. Was fun. Dresden, half of Dresden is cool. The other half, not so much. Ivory Sanctum I liked. I guess I do like Blackwater that much. Then Arilu's Lab is cool. I guess overall, like most of the dungeons I do like, most of them. So I think that's fine. Yeah, I do agree that I might take like Mythic paths and like other disparity between Mythic paths. All paths should have been from level 3. I think we can agree on that, right? Like every path should have been from level 3 in my opinion. Like there should be no late Mythic paths. It's just such a it sucks, you know? You just feel like the kid who's left out of the party. Like if you're a Lich, awesome. If you're an Angel, awesome. If you're a Demon, awesome. Aeon, awesome. And then if your favorite is Legend or Gold Dragon or Swarm, you're like, man, you know, you're left out. You're gonna get it and barely enough content. Then you might as well leave it out, because in a way I feel it will just make you feel shit. At least that's how I look at it. It's good that it's there for variety, but I think it's not good that it's just it makes you want to have more, and I don't like that. It just makes you feel like, damn, you missed out on so much. So I guess that. And then like why I dislike things. How do you specify here? Like this is a short answer. This is really, how do you make this bigger? It's really hard to like write anything here. All right. Anyway. Or can you expand this? You can't expand it, can you? So I would love to have a lot more companions. they don't have to be main companions with story, but I feel there could be at least 3 times as many NPCs as minor companions that could join you for party variety. It's still better than mercenaries because of role-playing. As much as mercenaries are a thing, it's just more satisfying if someone joins you through story and not because, you know, you modded it in. Mythic paths I explained. All mythic paths should be from level 3. Then the puzzles are just too... it's not even like too hard. I just did bad. Too overcomplicated. And just not fun to solve. Like, by the time you solve the puzzles, you're like, finally. Not that like, whoa, that was cool. I would love if... Okay, like... About mechanics. There's too many bugs and just not working mechanics at all. So stability there would be awesome. And then encounter design and battles is, I think, where I have personally my greatest gripe, probably. I mean, it's not that bad, but like after a while, you really just feel you're throwing the same things over and over. Like there's no variety, and the difficulty is just more of the same thing. With battle difficulty and design, I just feel it's not the right way to design CRPG battles with higher and higher numbers into heaven and just more damage. Instead, I'd love to see a lot more mechanics. Like in Blackwater. Actually, I liked it about Blackwater. Like Blackwater. Or more spells to work around. More spells, like good spells. Not, you know, like getting Polar Midnight on level 10. Not having the enemy 20 levels above you, making all hit die spells unusable and just getting unfair advantage. Overall, the AI gets unfair advantage and not creative advantage. Their encounter design, in your opinion, is bad. They also do stupid things like debuffing your whole team before they can act, or rely on so often on debuffs that you just have to buff. Yeah, that's true. You will have to say that Kingmaker had more range of enemies. Yeah, that's true, but like that's because of the campaign as well, right? Like you're not going to have, you know, living creatures, I guess, too much in a demon-infested area. What I like the Blackwater about, though, is I do like that you had to disable the pylons to be able to attack the bosses. Like, that was cool. Like, that's actually a difficulty that you have to maybe fight a few enemies, and behind them, there's an item you have to use to open a door. Or, you know, like, I actually like that. Or the vulnerability. Like, that's actually a cool mechanic. The demons were still too tough. So Blackwater could stay the way it is, just, you know, not make the enemies have 100 AC or anything. But overall, the vulnerability mechanics and the design of the dungeon itself was good. Yeah, it's the numbers that they have to tune down. tune down the numbers and create more interactive mechanics to play with. I think that's cool. Like, but there's too many cheesy things. I don't mind if the game is a little bit easier. But you know, the numbers are not especially fun, I think, to work around if we consider that. But I think that's that's something I would like to see improved personally. In Pillars of Eternity, especially what you see in Pillars 2, it had way better way to handle difficulty. I don't remember. It would be nice to play Pillars of Eternity now to compare, like how it was there. I'm not sure. But yeah, also like, okay, for example, there are the ghosts. Ghosts are actually cool, except I hate them because you're forced to use Death Ward. But now imagine that what if you would have Magus enemies that use touch attacks against you? Or the Brimarax using Fireball against you. That's a cool way of giving you difficulty. You cast Resist Fire and it helps, you know? Like, that's a cool thing. Or Life Bubble against the other effects. But there are so many ways of making a fight more difficult without making it ridiculous. You also don't want to have every battle be a push a thingy. I mean, definitely not. But you know, right now there's technically 0, so it can, you know, it gets still a very valid advice since technically there's 0 fights. Like there's 1 in the whole game. But like that's a good example, right? But that's just like one thing. The vulnerabilities are another thing. What would be a good way? Like, what would I change? Like, I really... It's more like they don't need to overtune enemies. Have 15 to 20 crit range on those scimitar guys in Dresden at level 9. Right? Like, I think a fight can be really tough if, let's say, a fight has a mage, an archer, one guy with a big shield. Like, I never see the AI cast Grease. Or Veb. Or Entangle. You know, these things. Do you know if you can still complete Voljev's questline if you forgot to talk to him to complete the Stolen Moon? Mirceas, I'm not sure. I'm sorry, I don't know that. Maybe not. I don't think, maybe not. You will have to see. I mean, look, everyone has their preference in difficulty. You can only... There's one thing you can do. You can tell your feedback to the devs. Everyone have their preference to difficulty, what they like. Like what I'm saying here, some person will say that it's bullshit. I mean, the enemy casts Sirocco. Sirocco is bullshit because they cast Sirocco on you when you're level 9. That's not fun. Cast Grease on me when I'm level 9. That's fair. You know, like, don't cast level 8 and level 9 spells on me when I'm level 10. Cast spells that are there. You know, Entangle is still annoying. Grease is still annoying. You know, all those things are annoying. Sirocco is bullshit. Like that's being just mean for no reason. It's same with Polar Midnight. Like, it's most players will still have problems with Entangle and Grease. Like, hell, you don't have good reflex with every character, right? What else? Like, but even Wave of Fatigue is cool. There are like 4 or 5 enemies throughout the game that cast Sirocco. Fortunately, not too often, but there are enemies who cast Sirocco. Like 4 or 5 tough fights. And they usually kill you. But yeah, like there's so many spells that they can cast. Like what else? Like for example, I love the Conjurers. Their Conjurer design is great. They made Conjurers who go invisible and then they start casting summon spells. That's so cool. It doesn't always work, but it's cool, right? Like that's a creative enemy design. The Sirocco, that's just mean. But let's see. Of course, dispelling you in a cutscene is just, yeah, but okay, that's a Demon Lord, so I guess you can argue that that's fine. But still, getting dispelled in a cutscene that's unresistible is a little bit infuriating. But overall, their encounter design. Okay, for example, do you remember the ambush you get at the early game by the drows? By the drows. There are the 3 drows at the campfire, then there's like 4 archers on the hill, and then some magus in the back. That's, for example, a good fight. Why? Because you do have to fight the drows near you, and there are archers in a hill, which are hard to get. Those are not hard to kill. Those are not hard to kill, but there's actually difficulty because of the terrain and just the nature of things, right? Like those archers are tougher because they're in high ground and you have to go around to kill them or cast AoE spells, but they don't have 50 armor class and plus 30 attack. No, just simply because it's hard to go there, that's a good encounter design. For example, like that's a tough fight just because of that, straight up. And there are ways to counter it, of course. You had a character that depended on spells, Dragonkin, to be effective, and that really, yeah. Like, the fight is not hard, you just have to survive, yeah, but, like, that can be really messy. So, I think the problem with... I'm gonna write this. I think the problem with the current design philosophy is that it tries to screw over the player and not like it really, that's the best way to say it. It tries to screw over the player and not play fair and square with tactical advantage given to the AI through terrain and smart, proper level spell usage. Because really, you don't need a Sirocco to screw me over. Put 2 archers on a hill with a mage, especially with greater invisibility, and I'm gonna, you know, like I'm gonna have a tough fight. I'm gonna have a tough time dealing with them potentially. But a lot of the fights in the game is... it's almost like it's designed for you to reload. Like, let's say you go into a fight. You go into a fight and they immediately cast a Sirocco on you or a Polar Midnight. 90% chance that you will have to reload. Like, that's a game killer with no chance of survival, right? It's not a big problem if, okay, they cast Sirocco at the end of the game, but on level 10, if they cast Sirocco or Rift of Ruin on your characters, right? Like the ghost. Like a level 8, level 9 spell on your character on level 9, it's the problem is not that they're high level. I do like if a world is, you know, has different levels. But you know, if they cast if they cast Disintegrate on you and anything, that's already like pretty brutal. Maybe what I don't like that much is there's no indication of spell casting. Let me explain. I think what I like a lot in Baldur's Gate and Pillars of Eternity is when the enemy starts casting a spell, there's an indication of what they're about to cast. In this game, there's not always an indication. A lot of times, you only see the icon above them that they're going to cast the Rift of Ruin when it's being casted. Until then, it's like a question mark. In Pillars of Eternity or Baldur's Gate, the stronger the spell, the longer it takes to also cast it. So like the casting animation, you have time to interrupt it. You have time to react to it. You have time to do things. Like if you see they're casting a Rift of Ruin, it's already too late, basically. I would love it if the cast times would be improved. It would nerf me, because that would work on the player too. And it would work for the enemy as well. So like I would have more time to react to instant kill spells, basically. Yeah, there are some full round spells, yeah, summons, you know, but like Polar Midnight, Sirocco, Rift of Ruin, like these are the spells that would need more time. But in turn-based, it doesn't matter. But even in turn-based, but that's, I think, Pathfinder. I would love it if casting a spell would be 2 turns, maybe. So you would choose to cast it, and there would be additional 1 turn to finish the cast. So there would be a 1 additional turn, 1 turn to choose to do it, and 1 full turn to actually cast it. So like the enemy has a chance to react to it. Would it be too strong or too weak? Again, this is a niche opinion. Probably not everyone likes this idea, but most of the time you won't be able to murder a wizard still in 1 round, like if you're not prepared, right? But it would eliminate the chance of them just insta-gibbing you without you reacting. Or then you would avoid casting those spells. But I think even in pen and paper, the dungeon master somewhat gives you, at least good dungeon masters, I think, give you an impression that the lich is starting to cast a spell of air around him freezes. You know, like it gives you an idea like, uh-oh, I have an idea what's going to happen, right? Like you get an idea of what's about to happen. That doesn't translate well in a game. In a game, you have to make a mechanic around it. But yeah, like we could talk about it, I guess, for ages. So let's go on. Which part of the game would you like improved? I mean, we just have to tick. I like everything as is. That's very optimistic. Chapter 5, 6, Epilogue, Crusade Management, basically. Do we have to talk about it too much? The prologue is fantastic. Chapter 1 is fantastic. Chapter 2 is great. Chapter 3, it's still good. And there's some great variety there. A lot of people already don't like Chapter 4. I still like The Abyss. I think The Abyss is fun. But, you know, needs performance upgrades and stuff. But The Abyss, I think, is good. Chapter 5 and 6 is unfinished, I think. And the epilogue is just rushed. And Crusade Management is bare bones. I don't think there's too much to talk about this. I think it's very obvious. It's very obvious on where the game lacks its content and design. Yeah, like chapter 4 is probably one of the most fun parts. There are multiple mini dungeons. Like there's the mongrel dungeon, there's the mage's tower, there's an arena quest line, there are ambushes, there's the late dungeon, it's a city. I think Act 4 is actually probably the best chapter in my opinion. Chapter 4, I think it's being... Maybe it's a little bit worse because of the performance. And maybe because like it's a little bit late in the game. But Chapter 4 is probably the best chapter in the game for me. It has everything. Lots of variety. Action-packed. Maybe if it was a little bit... maybe it was a little bit wider. Like you would have to leave the city sometimes. And it wouldn't be just in these 3 levels. So like maybe if Illusion Era was a little bit bigger, or the Abyss was bigger, so it wasn't cramped into these small streets, but it was good. I think that was good overall. Yeah, the enemies were good, but not unfair, and the content was a good variety. That's exactly what I meant when I said the other chapters. Like, you know, there are quests, companion quests, mini dungeons, multiple different types of encounters. There was a book dungeon, the mage's tower, there's an arena quest line, there's a dating simulator with a demon. You know, like there's the whole city to explore. That was good variety. Chapter 4 was good variety. But if there are no more opinions, we're moving on. Let's see. Please rate the chapters on scales from 1 to 5, where 1 is I did not like it at all, and 5 is I love this part of the game. You may skip some chapters if you have not completed the game. All right, everyone. In chat, I'm curious. What do you all think? Was chapter 4 good variety because of the hot tub ladies and Illusion Era? I mean, no, like really, there was so many different type of content. The prologue was definitely, like, that was one of the better ones. Chapter 1 is definitely... Chapter 1 is probably... No. Is above average. No, the prologue was fine. That's the average, I think. Prologue is like average. That's what I expect as average. Chapter 1 was above average. Chapter 2 is fucking amazing, I think. Like, from Canabras to Dresden is phenomenal. Like, that's perfect. Like, I loved it. I actually love that. All the different areas. Leper's Smile is, in fact, I think is a great dungeon. Okay, I hate Vescavores as well, but that part of the game has great variety, great encounters. It's overall good. I love. And of course, like, oh, there's the... I almost forgot about it. The Lost Chapel. Phenomenal. Act 2, I think, is... Chapter 2 is one of the best. In fact, if not the best. Chapter 2 is phenomenal. You know, you might dislike the enemy types, but I think the chapter itself was really good. Chapter 3 is above average. Like, it's good. The Midnight Isles, I think, for me, is, again, phenomenal. There. 5 is already above... It is below average. Actually, Maybe Act 5 is like, no, because like it includes everything in Act 5. The encounters and areas you explore in Act 5 are not bad, but everything else is gutted in Act 5. And you know, too much is gutted in Act 5. So, from the Crusade Management to the Act 5 Mythic paths, some of the annoying parts. So, no. And Chapter 6, I think, and the Epilogue is just horrible. It's... The areas are fun, but everything else is I think, is just unpolished. Yeah, like I think like the end of the game. What is the epilogue actually? Like chapter 5, I consider that the open world. I feel like chapter 6 and the epilogue should be the same. Like that's threshold basically. So that's just weird. Like this should be the same category, or they should at least clear what it is. So I'm just gonna go with it's not good, I think. The epilogue would be where they finish the character's story, the last talk. Okay, that's good. Okay, then I guess, okay, that's good. If that's what it is. If the epilogue is the books, that's good. Okay, like I like that. Crusade Management is below average. The implementation, no, the design itself has all the things that it needs, but it's not, it's bare bones. It's too bare bones for me. Oh, Chapter 4, yeah, that's my favorite. Chapter 2 and Chapter 4 being the best for me. So that's my opinion. Karamzadeh, like Karamzadeh fight is horrible. That's horrible. So that's what I think, at least. But yeah, let's go. This is personal rating for everyone, so not up to too many discussions. Okay, everyone. What do you think about the flying islands mechanics in Illusioneer, everyone? The best mechanic ever. Best mechanics ever. It's a disaster. I will go with 2. I can deal with it, but it's really, it's fun for about 30 seconds. It's fun for about 30 seconds. And after that, it's... No, I'm actually gonna go with disaster as well. I'm gonna go for disaster. I don't want to encourage them on that. It's a disaster. It's fun for about 30 seconds. After it's very annoying, very quick. It's punishing the game performance. It's too taxing, and it's no. I mean, you know, that's fine. It's, you know, I like that they experimented. You know, if I could comment, I would type like, awesome. Really, I'm glad you experimented. But here's my feedback. Not this. Right? Like, you know, like, cool. I like the idea that they experimented. Just, yeah, this wasn't so great. But like, that's good. Experimentation is good. Just this mechanic specifically wasn't so good. You almost quit the game before you found the camera rotations to move the map. Oh boy. They were on one island, but as you wanted to move them in combat, they just slid off into another island. Oh, yeah. I can imagine. Okay, everyone, what would you like to improve in the later chapters? So 5 and 6. which then they do know that something is wrong with chapter 5 and 6. Okay, change the encounter design. Absolutely. I don't want Vavakias who revive and have 80 armor class and 200 damage, unresistible, unholy damage, and 400 light chain lightning damage and shit. No. Absolutely not. Like, that's the worst way of doing it. I think it had enough dungeons, so that's fine. The Enigma is there as well. Dungeons was fine. Yeah, more main story. I agree. Main plot. More main plot. And fix the bugs. I mean, yeah, of course. More side quests. Do we need more side quests? There were enough side quests, I think. Like, you finish a lot of side quests. You finish all the companions quest, Dragon's Burial, the Fallout quest, Chili Creek, Nenio's Enigma. Like, just think about it. If the Enigma, okay, just imagine, all right? Try to imagine, all right? Let's live in a dream world. Imagine if the Nenio puzzles wouldn't exist. All right? They don't exist. And every single area where you had to do those puzzles, instead there would be a minor fight with a stronger enemy. And then those drop you the masks. And then you could just go into the Enigma. And the Enigma would be a dungeon without any of those puzzles. Instantly, Act 5 would go for me from 2 to 4. Instantly. Just if the Enigma and Nenio's puzzles wouldn't have puzzles, chapter 5 would go into 4-star for me. Just that change alone. Because the Enigma is actually a great dungeon. That alone would improve the whole chapter for me. You would take more dungeons over more side quests. Side quests involve downtime as you move over the map. Agreed. So some minor dungeons. More side quests that don't require companions. Yeah, okay, I can see that. Are you the only one who likes the puzzles in the game? Probably. More side content that has nothing to do with your companions. I can agree that. The Enigma itself has a pretty good, almost hidden dialogue-related interaction. I mean, I'm sure, like, it has some good things, but maybe even the puzzles, like, I would just love if there was a mode. I would love if there was a mode that I tick in the options, and there would be just click on the puzzle and it solves itself. Right? Like, what I would love is if every single puzzle in the game would have a quick puzzle mode. And it's not tied to difficulty. It's not tied to stupid achievements. Let people who enjoy the puzzles do the puzzles. And let people who hate those puzzles click a button and auto-solve it in a matter of seconds. That's what I would like personally. Because, again, like, yeah. You like the puzzle since you just looked up the solutions. Or improve the puzzles overall. But if they keep the puzzles like this, I would like auto-solve. Yeah, those puzzles are annoying to solve even if you look them up. Like, even then it's hard to solve them. Like, that's actually true. Okay, possibly more mini dungeons. I would like more mini dungeons. They fix everything. I love it, man. Like, what would you like to improve in the later chapters? Everything is good is not ticked. Everything else, like everything. Just change everything. Just change everything. Okay. Then into more precise things. What do you think about 5th chapter? Can we take multiple things? Okay. 5th chapter. I mean, it's too long. It's too short. I think that's... I don't care. I don't judge a chapter based on how long or short it is. If I say a chapter is too long, that's bad. Because, like, that means that I noticed it. If it's too short, that also means it's bad because I noticed it. So a chapter is good when you don't care how long or short it is. So I think too long or too short is irrelevant criticism. Because if that's a thing, that's just like, you know, pointless. You like it narrative-wise, but feels unpolished. That's for sure. The game should have already ended. Nah, that's fine. Too quick pace. That's true. Not enough content. It's... I mean, I guess, okay, it's too difficult compared to earlier chapters. I wouldn't say it's difficult. It's bullshit. It's a better way of saying it. I mean, come on. It's just ridiculous. Is a better way of saying it. It's not too difficult. It's... Here's the thing. It's not too difficult. It's under-designed. It's like you take... It's like you design your character in 20 hours or 2 hours. It just feels it's just thrown together. Excuse me, but that's really how it feels. The difficulty for Act 5 and 6 feels like it's just thrown there. Like, whatever, give them something. You know, and they're strong. That's how it feels. It's not difficult. It's thrown together. If it's not, then excuse me. That's how it looks to me. Again, that's not my point. Yes, we are strong in Act 5, but the point is not that it's easy or strong. The problem, like, this is why I don't like that. There should be another choice here. I wish, because I would type. It's not about it's too easy or too difficult. Because I had easy with my Aeon went through it easy in chapter 5. And other characters struggled. It's the design that's not good with it. It's boring and it's boring and it's uninspired and it's just a numbers game. It's just unresistible damage, super high health. They revive once. You know, like there's, yeah. It's the design of it is not good. But since there's no option for that, it's too difficult. Karamzadeh is next. That's just, it's the same idea there. Karamzadeh is not a good boss fight. I mean, he just casts unresistible 400 damage on you. Okay, like, so what? Not that you can't protect yourself against it, but so now every single character should have evasion and super high reflex. It's very one-sided. Even if he just one-shots one of your characters, I would like it more. But it one-shots your whole party. Potentially. All right, so chapter 6. Chapter 6 is the threshold, right? Already. So it's way too short. The final dungeon is way too short. It's rushed. Not enough content. Not enough bosses. It's too difficult. I like it narrative-wise, but unpolished. So the threshold is way too short. Not enough content and bosses. Like, all the final showdowns are just like, there it is. Like, hell, if you see the angel in the very end, then it's, you know, it's not even explored or anything. And everything just feels rushed a little bit. And again, like, difficult is, I mean, yeah, sure. Let's call it difficulty. Let's call it difficulty, I guess. But the threshold is a very interesting area that I would have loved to spend some more time in it. I mean, this is this major, giant vortex of magic and portal into the abyss, and let's assume that, you know, not fight. So let's remove all the fights. You spend roughly 2 minutes in it. I think from the beginning to the end, you go through the threshold in less than 2 minutes. You know, this is supposed to be the epitome of the game. This is what you've been told about since the beginning of the game. It's this swirling vortex that was made from a mage prison of Sarkoris. I would even love if there were more like anomalies, that maybe there would be more portals even to the past in Sarkoris, maybe, or you would have flashbacks. I would love that if there was a flashback of how the portal was created. So, like, because the time is distorted and everything, and there's the Aeon prisoner there as well, you would see back on what happened back then with the real, like how it was open. So more story there. Like, there's so many things that could be done, but instead it's just you know, tough fights, Galu warcrasters and whatnot, and then just like a Rielu monologue, and it's game over. So yeah, make Minago companion, easy fix for the game. Instantly 10-10. 10-10. The Galus and the Vivakias in chapter 6 are just bad. A lot of characters have to fish for natural 20s. I mean, they're, you know, like, you can have touch characters, and touch characters actually destroy those. So I do recommend that, by the way, to have a touch character in each of your playthroughs. But other than that, I agree, because even if you don't have, the Galus are... Here's the thing. Nothing should have high everything. They have, like, all of those have super high all saving throws. The saving throws are high on everything. You should have multiple weaknesses at least, just like your characters usually have multiple weaknesses if you're not min-maxing. And design should be for role-playing. So a role-played character is going to have multiple weaknesses. You know, not everyone is going to be a paladin, monk, oracle, sword saint, vivisectionist, fighter. And, you know, for the same reason, a fighter is going to have, you know, maybe low will saving throws, low touch armor. The same way an enemy should have multiple weaknesses as well, that you can bypass and multiple parties can bypass. But some of the enemies just have high everything. So yeah. How should we improve the mythical paths and the mythical classes mechanics in order to make them perfect, in your opinion? Honestly, I'm curious about everyone's opinion on this. For me, honestly, just make all mythic paths, which is not gonna happen ever. Nah, I'm pretty sure this won't happen. Just make all mythic paths open up from level 3. All the late mythic paths come too late, and it's just not fun. It's just there is not enough time time and content to enjoy them. Other than that, I personally have no issue. Maybe I would like to see content added for all of them to be similar, and I would also love if all of them had their Mythic Path centric unique companions. Every single Mythic Path should have their own companions. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree with that. And personally, Legend should have been a hard mode. Instead, it's easy mode. That's also true, but that's personal opinion. It needs balance. Trickster is the least powerful, but most utility. I disagree with that. I think Trickster is insanely powerful. I think all of them can be very strong so far. Like, I know Angel is really OP apparently, but I think from what I heard and from what I did in my playthroughs, all Mythic Paths are pretty OP. Of course, some of them are stronger, some of them are not, but on core difficulty, which I think should be the highest difficulty to balance the game for, anything above, something's gonna be strong and something's gonna be weak, obviously. I think on core, all of them are still pretty OP. Like, all of them are pretty damn OP. But again, like, this is personal opinion for everyone, I guess. Demon could beat Blightmaw into submission or somebody else from Illusion era. Well, that's interesting. I mean, I really would like all Mythic Paths to have more unique events and story-changing aspects that are relevant and change the gameplay. If they made Mythic Paths feel less OP, you would not play the game. Yeah, like, I would like all of them. Make them stronger even if you want. I don't have problem, I think, with the balance, personally. I think my problem is more that not all of them feel equally polished. And I haven't even played the ones, apparently, that are the most polished. Like, Trickster felt way less polished than Lich and Aeon. Lich was like okay. Aeon was freaking amazing. And I hear Angel and Demon are by far the best. And I haven't even played those yet. Demon is the most problematic. It's not just weakness, it has the most bugs too, but the story is the best. Yeah, like... and then, like, some Mythic Paths are just there for gameplay flavor. Which is not a bad thing, but at the same time, you know... Again, it's the same as late path Mythic, like late game Mythic Paths. It's in the game, so... You might as well then make them the same as the others. Or don't put it in. Because if there are choices, then people will expect them to be equally good. As much as variety is great, that's the trap, I think, with development and just generally giving people choices. If you give people choices, then they expect the choices to be equally polished. They're, you know, like, you could say, and it's absolutely correct, if you were to say, well, I mean, but more is good, right? Like, Would you be happier if there was no Lich in the game? No. It's great that it's in, but since it's in, it should also be equally good to, let's say, to Angel and Demon. And I think that's just a trap generally on, expectations. That's just how it is, I feel. Azada is very strong, I hear, at least, but it's also suffering from bugs, I hear. But yeah, like, they need to fix bugs. Like, that, that could be a completely different box with a screen size tick of fixed bugs. That's the biggest problem. All right. How do you feel about the epilogues? I like the epilogues. I've seen all the end results that I expected. There were too many epilogues, not enough epilogue slides. I want to see more consequences and character stories. Want to know more about the endings of my romantic story. Want to know more about particular locations, Canabras, Wintersun, Dresden. I want to see more consequences of my important story choices. I want more unique epilogues about my mythical paths and how they influence the story and the world. Honestly, probably all of them. Like, I liked all of them, but there weren't enough. I want to know more all of these. Like, actually, I mean, give me as much as you can. I'm sorry, like, about epilogues, the more the better. I mean, the epilogues are just fun. I like it, but give me more. It's like, you know, like, it's never gonna be enough. So that's cool. Azata is really strong, even with the bugs, but it's still a bad experience when you get the spell for the first time and it's just, yeah, nothing happens. Yeah, like with Aeon. You don't mind the player being OP at the end. Balance is always hard for an adventure campaign that goes into the epic levels. Just needs strong narrative and story, which you feel like they managed to well enough. Yeah, like, I think it's better if by the end of the game the player is OP compared to if the enemy is OP. Like, there's a point, but that's why it's really hard to design it, because you have to think about it that and this might have to do with pacing. I think the problem is that you reach level 20 too fast. And I think Kingmaker did this better, but I think people were complaining that you can't reach level 20. You reach level 20 too early, and in Act 5 and Act 6, you're basically just a god walking through everything. And because you're a god, they are forced to throw all this bullshit at you. Instead, if let's say you reached level 20 in Is, at the beginning of Is, then there will still be enough content, and then you could still do the Enigma and everything on level 20, but you reach your peak too early in the game, and then the whole game is just expected to be tough, and I think it's hard. You hated how Kingmaker handled leveling? I don't remember, honestly, that much. I just know that in Kingmaker, I felt it was more balanced, your levels. I personally like slow leveling, but he really, I don't mind how it is in Wrath of the Righteous, but the end game is too fast. I think we can agree we go into the Abyss at level 14, right? Then you come out from the Abyss at level 18, and there's 2 chapters for 2 levels? Like chapter 5 and chapter 6 for 20? That's like crazy. Mary, thank you for being here. Enjoy your night, Mary. Enjoy. Thank you so much. Well, I mean, that's just preference. I actually would like it a lot more if these games were level capped. I personally like the idea, but that's just, again, that's design choices. I don't necessarily think every campaign should have level 20 in it, because I think it's easier to create a fun campaign with limitations than everything. But for this, obviously, you should have level 20. It's, you know, it's mythic powers and everything. But maybe I'm also influenced in this game specifically that and I'm biased because it feels like they have better idea how to balance the game on low levels, and it feels like they also don't have enough experience with high level encounters. It almost feels like they run out of ideas what to do on on high levels, even though there's so many things you could do. I really just feel they don't have enough experience for high level fights. And that's why I would prefer if the game stayed on lower levels longer, because on lower levels, there are quite a few fights that I enjoy. Yeah, low levels are easier to balance than high ones, and they also have better experience themselves. Yeah, like Mythic rank is also too late, but at the same time, here's the thing about Mythic ranks, that it's hard to balance around Mythic powers, right? But yeah, they need to practice higher level encounter design. Yeah, Mythic level 10 comes too late. That's also true. Like the Mythic level distribution is a mess. I think you should reach Mythic level 10, honestly, in front of the chapel when you see Iomade. Maybe it's a little bit early, but I honestly think so. Like, or maybe when you destroy the Scary at Is. Okay, it's like 9 should be at the chapel and 10 should be in Is. Maybe that would be my preference then. So like you can go to Is for a fast final level, and then like you would have 10 from there, and you can already do the Enigma and everything at Mythic level 10. Maybe. Let's see. I will put in some Kingmaker music. Ooh. All right, but the epilogues, I think not much to talk about. Okay. Crusade Management. I think we talked about it at the very beginning, right? I personally don't like it too much the way it is. So what's the problem with Crusade Management? Rated from 1 to 5. Tactical battles, Crusade projects, moving armies through the global map, council board, rank ups. All right. So, in my opinion, the tactical battles are okay, because I think the battles themselves are actually good. So I'm actually going to go with 4. The battles themselves are good. The units and the abilities and your options are what's bad. So Crusade projects are cool, but I want more of them. So it's like average. Moving the armies through the map has been somewhat boring-ish. Council board has been... I don't like that. Personally, I don't like the council board. But the rank ups, like council board where Lady Konomi just tells you the nonsense, I don't care about it. Like, it wasn't that interesting either. And I think that's the part people dislike about Kingmaker as well in this game, that you spend hours in the council room. I don't care. Like, give me gameplay. Give me... But even if you do story, do it through interaction, not through... Like, you're basically doing paperwork, right? Like, the council board feels like paperwork. The projects are great. So projects, good. That's like, when you choose on the map that, the cats are in the city and you make them crusaders, right? Or, you found this dwarf and, like the choices you make on the campaign map, that's fun. The council board, when the council makes the decisions, that's not fun for me. So that's the difference. Council project, cool. That's the cool way of doing it, I think. Council board, the bad way of doing it, I think. Moving armies through the map, I mean, it's a little bit slow. And the rank ups are possibly the most fun part of the Crusade management. Like, I enjoyed having upgrading my units. So actually, maybe that's gonna be the 5. That's great. Give me more units earlier, and better units and levels. Yes, that's the fun. Give us more of this, more rank ups and better rank ups. You wish the decision felt more impactful, but you just appreciate that they cleanly show you what the decisions affect. That's true. Why can't you teleport your freaking armies using the teleportation circles? Oh, you can later on, I think, in Act 5. An option to disband. Yeah, like overall, I guess, like more quality of life. Option to disband. Like, here's the thing. In my opinion, they should remove army limitations completely. Master of Maneuvers is a horrible limiting mechanic. Your armies should be able to field the maximum amount of units from the get-go if you choose to do that. That's part of the Heroes of Might and Magic tactical system. You should be able to control how many units and what stacks you're fielding on your battle, period. Limiting that is horrible. So that's one. That's a disaster. Second, I think you should be able to upgrade your armies from the get-go. Like from the moment you leave Canabras. Like by the time you have your final units in Act 5, like no one cares. I already cleared 90% of the map. And I have armies and infinite amount of money. I want to choose if I want to use Inquisitors, Spellcasters, cavalry or whatever from the get-go. And not play 70% of Crusade mode with footmen and archers and shield bearers and clerics, and then the final 20% with with the cool shit when it doesn't matter anymore. 90% of Crusade mode complaints would be fixed by literally copying any of the good turn-based RPGs rather than just make a shallower homage from scratch. Yeah, just do exactly what Heroes does. Let me, travel around the map and pick up resources. Like if I pick up resources, don't give me 3 rat's tails and 2 acid. No, let me pick up 1,000 general experience, 5,000 money, 2,000 materials. Again, 10,000 general experience. Or if I capture this building, just like in Heroes, let me recruit special inquisitors from here. Like, add all the things that make Heroes good. That when you explore the map, you speed up the process of gaining all this stuff. Let me find buildings on the map as well that give me a catapult. They give me a spell. Whatever. Those are the things that need. And everything for it is in the game. It's not implemented. Like, it's in the code. It's just not put in properly. But everything is in the Crusade Management mode to make it fun. It's just not added, or it's added too late. I mean, people can't call it a ripoff. The devs themselves said that it is a Heroes of Might and Magic 3 inspired mode. I mean, so by definition, it is a ripoff. That's the point. Right? Like, that's the point. Then make it a ripoff. That's all we're asking for. Rip it off as much as you can. That's the point, right? Yeah. So I guess like we all agree about this. The Crusade mode is fun. That's feels it's full of arbitrary and forced limitations, anti-fun limitations. It's like here's your brand new car, but you can only go with 5 kilometers per hour, and you cannot, use the radio, and you cannot turn down the window, and you can't touch the wheel, and like don't drive it at all. But here's a cool car. That's how it feels like. Because honestly, everything is in the game to make it fun. It's just you're limited. You can't use it. So yeah. Oh, we're close to the end, everyone. Please rate the following technical aspects of the game on a scale from 1 to 5. I'm gonna be harsh here. I'm sorry. I'm personally gonna be harsh because I'm the same. It's not just this game. Every single CRPG that I played in the Unity engine runs like shit. Excuse me. But I hate it in Pillars of Eternity. I hate it in Pathfinder. I hate it in Tyranny. I hate it everywhere. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't mind playing at 30 FPS. In fact, I play most of my games on 30 FPS just because I'm used to it. But this game sometimes lags down to 20 and 7 FPS, and I can't even use, like, the game asked me at the beginning. This asked me at the beginning if I like graphics in general. Yeah, I like graphics. I just can't use them because I had to disable shadows. I had to disable all kinds of ambient occlusion and everything that would actually make the game look good, but I can't use it because then I have less than 5 FPS. And before, like, yeah, I don't have a good PC, but I hear the same complaints from someone who has a 3080. So if someone has an NVIDIA 3080 or RTX 3080 and they struggle to have more than 30 FPS, then there's something wrong. So performance is atrocious. And by thus FPS as well. And performance, again, turn-based mode is fun. It's just every single time I press space to skip the turn or I kill an enemy, the game stutters into oblivion. And oh, you just missed killing that enemy because you strike. And the next moment is like it's already dead. So you don't see the you don't see the climax of your action. It's like getting a commercial at the climax of a movie. Or like the toughest fights with giant crazy Glabrizu and it just lags. Or the coolest part of the game by far, when the angels come down from heaven at the end of Ivory Sanctum. Anyone knows that? At the end of Ivory Sanctum, when the angels strike down, and I would enjoy the scene if I had more FPS than 5. It's by far, it's still the coolest. It's the coolest part of the game. It's the coolest laggy part of the game. Like it's really awesome. It's just my PC is about to blow up while I enjoy it. You have a good PC and won't go over 35 FPS in Act 5, dropping to single digits and never using more than 20% CPU or GPU. Yeah, like that's just generally, it's just generally, yeah, I agree. Now loading times. I'm actually okay with loading times. Maybe that one is like, I'm fine. Oh, Unity can be well optimized. Here's the situation. People need to get this. Unity is good because it's accessible. Think of think of consoles for gaming. You press the power button, you press X, and the game starts. If you do a PC, you need to install Windows or whatever. You need to have drivers. You need to have everything. And you need to set everything up. Unity is good because it's plug and play for developers. But you still have to do it right. If you didn't know, for example, Genshin Impact is a Unity engine game and is by far one of the most well-optimized game I've ever played. It's ridiculous, and it's Unity. Unity is good, but you still need to, like, it's not Unity's fault if a game is unoptimized. It's then in that case it is the developers. Like, Unity is a good engine. It's not the engine's fault. Like, Unity gets a lot of shit. Yeah, but that's the thing. Just because most are bad, that doesn't mean the engine is bad. And almost everyone who works with Unity says the same thing, that Unity is good. The problem with Unity is it's the same, like, it's just naturally that's going to be like that. If you make something accessible, then it's by definition, there's gonna be more low quality than high quality. But you still have to, you still have to work on improving your product. It's just anyone can start doing it. I'm pretty sure there's lots of very well optimized Unities as well. I mean, at this point, you can do that. Okay, like, we're gonna make Unity harder. Like, you could make Unity less accessible to limit the amount of badly optimized games that are being released, so that you force developers to care more about it. Yes, that's true. Like, that's again, like, it's more of a philosophical topic, right? Like, what's better? But yeah, I shift that blame on devs, not the engine. I mean, I could, let's see, Unity. But list of Unity engine games. I'm just gonna list a bunch. Neo: The World Ends With You came out. It's Unity. I played it personally. Ran amazing. A Genshin Impact is on it. I've already said it. Desperados 3. I played it. It ran amazing. Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory. I've seen it. Runs amazing. Wasteland 3, I actually don't know, but Wasteland 3 is a Unity engine game as well. I'm just saying the ones I know because I played personally. Let's see. Yeah, Fantasian, yeah, that's on mobiles. That was a good one. Oddworld. I don't know if anyone played the new Oddworld. Outward, I think, runs pretty well. Outer Wilds is a Unity game and runs well, for me at least. Subnautica Below Zero. I never had problems with Subnautica, and those are pretty games. Doom on the Nintendo Switch. No, that's the old one, sorry. Because I thought it's the new. Let's see. Mostly smaller games, like, where it doesn't really matter. Pillars of Eternity 2 also runs pretty horrible. I'm trying to look like at bigger games, because most of them are small projects, so it's hard to see this list. Cuphead. Dungeons 3. Those are just some more games as well. Life is Strange, Before the Storm. Torment, Tides of Numeria. I actually haven't played that one. But yeah, just a list of games, really. Those are games from Unity Engine. I just said a couple. But anyway, doesn't matter. So loading times for this game, I'm fine. Like, it could be faster, but you know, I actually never complained about loading times, I think. So loading times, I guess, are for me I'm neutral. What would you like us to change in the game? Oh boy. I'm not going to answer that. I'm sorry. Like, I could write an essay. I could write an essay. I don't think I'm gonna write anything there for now. If I used an HDD, it's possible I would have lost my mind. Probably. Probably. But I think I pretty much already said everything here that's important. Like, the really important parts are listed here. All the important parts are already listed. If it takes more than 2 seconds on an SSD, it's already poor performance. Okay. 2. Are you happy? Are you happy? Overall, I'd like the game to be more polished, way less bugs, and general balance between content. Less brutal and more balanced combat design that's fair with the player and is fair CR for enemies, so that hit dice spells stay relevant for the player, and stop giving more feats to enemies than what their level allows. Please stop cheating. Like, serious, stop cheating. Stop cheating. That's not okay. There's a reason the system is the way it is. Stop cheating with feats and enemies. Remove limitations from the Crusade mode. It is a fun mode with a great idea, and you just limit all the cool stuff from the player for honestly no reason, for the sake of slower feeling of progression. I feel like, yeah, like maybe that. It's worse than Civilization AI, right? Like, it's worse. I don't mind if the AI has more health or whatever, or maybe or more armor class even. Giving more feats is the most overpowered thing you can give the enemy. I mean, just imagine if, like, no, like, really, you can, every single level for your character counts. Now imagine, like, you could just choose feats left and right. It's, you know, there's a reason feats are limited. You know, when I have to choose between greater spell focus or spell penetration, it matters. Or if I want to choose weapon focus or back to back, you know, it definitely matters. It's not like, oh, just give them both. You know, these choices matter. Feats is the same as giving more settlers and units to the AI, though. I guess I agree to a degree. I agree. And it's bad. Right? Like it's bad. Um. Oh yeah, and honestly, I not like I'd love if the I would love if the performance of the game would be a lot better. I personally feel um people and I am definitely more lenient. I'm curious, chat. I'm curious about your your opinion, sorry. I feel with myself, I am way more lenient about a game if it runs well. If I am enjoying it, and if it runs well. If this game would actually run 60 FPS and it would be pretty and everything, I think I would be complaining a lot less. But that's just me. So I'm curious how you all feel about it. If the performance issues wouldn't be there, because the way I feel is I'm playing, I'm enjoying it, and this like the performance problems are these constant almost scratching in my brains that's wearing me down. And then on top of that, there are the bugs and the issues, and then just then come the issues that I don't like about the game. So by the time I actually get to the part that I don't like, I'm brain dead. So I'm curious how you all feel about that. There. You agree with me? I mean, and I'm not really a performance whore, you know. I don't care if my game runs, 120 FPS or anything, but if I have to turn down the shadows, um, the cool graphics options of a game, not because my PC is bad, but because the game is badly the game is not performing well, I instantly feel shit. It's just I'm constantly thinking like, damn, this game would look so good. And then like it's laggy, the turn-based lag as well. And I think that's also the majority of people. Like performance is a big problem overall. That's how you would explain your problem with the game. It slowly wears you down with all the lag and hiccups, mini lags and whatnot. Yeah. Like it's constantly, yeah, it's filling that mug. And then it's like, and then the mug is almost filled, and then like, it's okay. I'm reaching level 10. I'm going to choose this feat, and I'm getting this spell. It's gonna be better. And then you get that spell, and it doesn't work, and then you're like, fuck it, I'm done. And like that's really how it is. But if your game ran well, then you would be like, man, this is so fun. This is so fun. Ah, nice. Oh, that was such an epic battle. And then like you get the spell, like, oh, you're still gonna be sad, but man, shit. Okay, I'm just gonna respec and I will go on. And then you continue having fun. But if it's, oh man, this lag's like hell. Oh shit, my charge bugged out. Oh, come on, the inventory screen is not switching. And then like all of this just ramps up and then just spills. You can actually enjoy a game with bad performance as long as the narrative, writing, and NPCs capture your attention. But you're probably the minority of people here. You play on bad laptops, so you can run the game well. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind bad performance either, but like, you have to make your choices. It's bad performance, but great mechanics and stability. Awesome. But if it's bad performance, bugs, and everything is just full of hiccups, then man, like, it's a scale. It's a scale. Like if one of them gotta be higher. So yeah. I guess that is my feedback. That is my feedback. I wish I could just send them the whole chat that we just had. Maybe I should just record it and like I should just maybe highlight this and send them as well so they can read my opinion, your opinions, and everyone who said here. I might do this as well. Just make a yeah, say hello to Owlcat. Like make a highlight and then they would be able to read chat as well as a bonus. But that's pretty much it, I guess. I like it. It's basically to sum up this this review. I like your game, but fix everything. I like your game, but everything is broken and I would like you to fix everything. It sums up. Oh man. Pretty much. We need more Minago. Yes, we need more Minago. All right. I'm submitting it. Boring. Your response has been recorded. Bam. All right. Wow. That was a long session there. That was a long session. We just need more Minago. I think we've been filling the form for 2 hours. Right? It's been 2 hours. And it was a good discussion, honestly. Overall, you like it that they are at least asking for feedback. Yeah, it's good. I mean, we'll see how much it's going to affect. I do hope. I hope it's gonna be helpful for them and they actually can, like, it's going to make a difference and whatnot. But yeah, if you would like to give it a chance, then of course you can always fill the form yourself as well to try to shift the balance of the design of the game and see how it is. But everyone, thank you so very much actually for joining this little conversation here about what you like about the game, what you dislike, and frankly, I think we pinpointed a lot of the problems together as well. Like most of us agree on the same things. And really, we all love the game. It's unbalanced, it's laggy, and full of bugs. That sums up, I think, everything we talked about. And unbalanced in every way, like in content, story impressions, and gameplay. There's too many highs and lows in all sides of the game, in every area of the game. Like everything, the graph needs to be smoothened out in all parts of the game. But yeah, fixing the performance, man, that would make things really, really awesome. I agree. I absolutely agree. Would be interesting. Nonetheless, though, I feel like after spending 2 hours as well on filling the form, which I planned anyway for today, I'm exhausted at least. I'm exhausted and my throat hurts overall after all this. But probably then we're gonna call a shorter Friday stream today. So tonight would be something shorter. And we would continue our Cavalier playthrough from here tomorrow, everyone. Again, big thank you for everyone participating in this discussion about the game state. Tomorrow we will continue with Pathfinder. For now, for real, everyone, and I'm really curious about this, so let me know. And because it really matters, I'm also calling out everyone in a way. On Sunday, I will be trying out for just 1 day. All right, on Sunday, just for 1 day, we will be trying out Baldur's Gate 3 early access. If it's spoilers for you, then it's fine. But I want to see if we actually have a chance, like if we actually have a interest in other CRPGs. So if you would like to see more content other than Pathfinder and the content, then come by on Sunday and support the stream. Even if it's spoilers, then you can just mute down the stream and, you know, like show that you're supporting the idea of playing other things, except, you know, like you don't get spoiled for Baldur's Gate. But on Sunday, we're going to try to play a different CRPG. So if you like the idea of having more content other than just Pathfinder on the channel, then support on Sunday because it matters. I will see from the numbers if there's interest or not. And on Monday, we would continue again with Pathfinder. So, that decision is up to you, on the other hand. Have an idea for a YouTube video, a video about what types of classes you need and who can fill those roles, like a touch-based character, etc. I do want something like that. I will eventually do one. Like, I have plans for that. Okay, so yeah, on tomorrow will be Pathfinder again. On Sunday, we're playing Baldur's Gate 3 Early Access. So it doesn't matter what we're playing, but if you like the idea of us playing other CRPGs on the channel as well, then Sunday is an important day to, you know, like let me know or whatever. By liking, saying hello, whatever. And that's going to be important at least. But nonetheless, everyone, that is probably it for today. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you very much for joining for the gameplay. I really appreciate all the support with discussing the state of the game as well. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful Friday night. Hope you're having some cool stuff to do. I will be tonight releasing one of our new formats for YouTube, so I'm going to start working on it again. I finish it tonight, so that will be up. But thank you for being here. Have a wonderful weekend. So tomorrow, some more Pathfinder, and on Sunday, we're going to try out Baldur's Gate 3, okay? Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Take care. Have a wonderful time. And as always, thank you for being here. And big thank you to all our Ko-fi supporters. Thank you, thank you. Feel free to join Discord, everyone, and all that stuff. You know how it is. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Alrighty. Take care. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the time and the talks. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.